right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Tim Lyons in Scottsdale, Arizona, joined by Randy Angston. What's up, buddy?
Oh, we're in Scottsdale. Yay.
Scottsdale's a great place to be.
It's the most livable city, bro.
That's what they say on the signs. Okay, it's the most livable city.
Talk about subjective.
Yeah, really. Like, it's good. Who says that?
Yeah.
Like somebody, Eskimo wouldn't want to live here.
Yeah. Once you're here, it's, oh, man, it's a real livable place to live.
It's real livable living here. Anyways.
Marketing.
Great episode for you guys today. Here's what I'm going to start you out with is the opportunity for growth occurs when you surround yourself with like-minded, driven individuals. That is my motto for the Iron Circle Mastermind, and it couldn't be more true.
Boom.
We've got story after story after story of gym owners surrounding themselves with this group of folks, what'd you call it? The
Collective?
The collective group.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, being 10, 12, 15-year gym owners, and all of a sudden when they surrounded themselves with this particular group, they've hit record years, record months, record net profit, buying more businesses, homes, investments. All of a sudden their life has changed its trajectory. And honestly, it's nothing that I'm teaching or any particular thing that they're learning, but they're learning nuggets from each individual person, and they're implementing, and they're action takers, and they see other people taking action, and it drives them to take action. It's the opportunity for growth occurs. You surround yourself with like-minded, driven individuals. The point being, you have to take action. Opportunity is the opportunity. You don't get the result without the action.
There you go.
So here's the deal. Like, and you mentioned it before the show, Randy. It was like these every gym owner, entrepreneurs are on islands.
Yep.
You live on these islands unless you're proactive and you go out and seek groups or seek coaching or seek, knowledge or being around the people doing things that you want to do. You're making the decisions on your own. Mm-hmm. With your own brain power and your own experience and your own, surroundings, influencing your decisions. And it could be very, very wrong, or it could be very, very right. You have no idea. You have no like
bearing of measurement. Yeah.
Bearing of measurement. Yeah. You have no sounding board
Mm-hmm.
to say, hey, what do you think? And then all of a sudden 5 people have also felt, done the same thing, and they've had different solutions or whatever. Point being is, unfortunately, for whatever reason, and gyms seem to be the worst. Gym owners don't talk to anybody.
No.
I'm not talking to that gym owner down the street. I'm not talking to this.
They'll talk to one or two clients that might do well, but that's about it, probably.
Yeah, they'll talk to a couple clients that are good in business.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I will tell you, like, there's no other industry or business like fitness. It's just not the same. We had an episode about this. Hey, what other business do you see your clients multiple times a week for a long period of time? And the service isn't done to them. They have to do the service, which is the working out, but you're just the guide. Mm-hmm. There's no other business. We say, well, chiropractor, massage. No, they're doing the service to you versus, or a bar or a therapist. It's like, well, there is no. So,
Sure.
So for somebody that's successful in being a dentist or a lawyer or an auto dealership, it's not the same. Yes, business systems are the same, sure, but like the nuances of fitness is completely different. And for whatever reason, I don't know. And I talked to other gym owner or other business owners that serve the gym owner population. It's just like nobody talks. Nobody talks to each other. They don't want to share wins, losses. Everybody's hiding something.
Even the fact, just right there, like, you don't have anybody to celebrate wins with. Like, seems so silly. But that's one of the things that in that group we put so much emphasis on. We make that such an important part because, when you hit a record month or you do record year, and you can't turn around to your clientele and be like, hey, thank you so much for the $500,000 a year that you helped me build. They don't give a damn, and they're the ones paying the way. So you can't go to them and celebrate with your clientele. Your other business owners, if you have a couple people in your pocket, they might pat you on the back a little bit, but they don't understand what that means to be a gym owner and have a record year, $500,000, $1 million a year, even if, $50,000 a month, whatever it may be. Those happen to be our milestones.
Let's go down this path a little bit further. This is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because John shared that Simon Sinek. Did you watch it over the weekend?
I didn't see that one.
Oh, dude, this is right in line with what you're saying. It's just like, Simon Sinek was, you guys know Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
He's an author, great, smart, intelligent person. He's like, most people have a group of friends or people that they can share when they're in trouble.
Sure.
Hey, I'm going through it. I need some help. And they've got probably a dozen or so people they can reach out to. And, they're there for them. Those same people that have 12 people that can go to something bad have very, very few, maybe 2 or 3 people that you can share the wins with. Sharing the wins is very difficult for several reasons, but it's usually the person receiving that information is jealous, doesn't really want to see you win, makes them look inward and
feel bad about themselves.
There's very, very few people that want to see you win.
Well, I'll have 2 things on that. One, that's the crabs in the bucket mentality, right?
Yep.
That old analogy, right? You throw crabs in the bucket, the one that tries to climb out, that's succeeding. The other crabs use that crab as leverage to get themselves out, right? So they're it's a competitive kind of thing. So like that crab that's succeeding, if you're sharing your wins with the other crabs in the bucket, they're using that. They're either feeling bad about themselves, it's the woe's me, or they're going to try and find their way of using that to gain their own internal, win with, at your expense, not alongside you. And so finding people.
But they pull the crab down.
Pull the crab down.
That's the point.
Yes,
that's
correct.
the point to the crabs in the bucket now.
Yeah, exactly. They're pulling you back down
pull
to
you
their
off the
level.
Lip. I've seen it, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Crabs getting loose. Crabs get,
Maryland, baby. We're going to go crab.
The 3 crabs pull down the crab because, and that's the greatest analogy.
It's just a simple way of kind of seeing that happen in real life, when that's exactly how it happens when you celebrate your wins with the wrong people, or people who don't have the same level of desire, goal, drive, motivation.
Yeah, and you can't, you think your family, you think you can share it with your family. Like, I share my wins with my dad.
Yeah.
He gets it. He wants to see me win. He's one of the very few people in my life that wants to see me win. There isn't a whole lot of other people I can talk to.
Exactly.
There just isn't.
And that's something too. You have to be careful on who you do share wins with, right? Because again, we talked about the family thing before, like the level of success you achieve, if they don't think the same way, if they don't understand it, it comes across like boasting or bragging.
Yes,
you know, and that's a way that it's really unfortunate. You can throw out the problems all day long, and everyone's there to offer their, whether it's valid or not, their solution,
because they want to help in some ways,
sure,
but they like to see that you're in trouble.
100%.
That's why they're engaging.
Exactly. Yeah, because again, they're comparing it to their own life, and they're going, oh, well, they've got problems too, but yeah, you got to be very careful when you're talking about the wins, and that's the one reason why in our group we make such a big part of it, the celebrating of the wins, because y'all deserve it. You can't go in your there's something about being that gym owner in town too, that local, like, you can't let loose, you can't just relax, you can't go to a bar and have a couple of drinks and just be your normal self without judgment from
a lot of pressure,
some of the community and the population, things like that. But surrounding yourself with the right people who have the same goals, drive, aspirations, things like that, the conversation is different. It entirely changes how, when you do share those wins, you got 100 people, or you got the rest of the group supporting you in that fact, as opposed to shooting holes in it and saying, oh, the woe's me, I wish it was me,
or just staying quiet and not mentioning anything. You get somebody that has a win, it's like celebration time in our group, in our iron circle. When somebody has a record month, buys another business, buys a house cash, puts in a huge investment, does a business deal with somebody else, all you're seeing is like, fuck yeah, hell yeah, let's go, right on, and maybe some questions like, how did that work? And it's like they're interested.
And I think there's a part of it that gym owners still have that competitive belief, right? Where you got to be tight-lipped. You can't share any of that success. You can't let anybody into what's working, that type of closed mentality. And that's part of what's limiting your true potential, right?
Big
so
time.
Putting yourself in the right room, having, the ability to pull, and we'll share that story, not only is it the wins, but the challenges or the decisions that you have to make. One example I wanted to share, because to me, like, I love the mathematical impossibility almost of this situation, Right. We were out in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, one of our Iron Circle experiences. We had just finished up with Carras negotiations. So everybody got trained up on how to better communicate through negotiating. And then we're doing our hot seats. Our hot seats are where somebody goes to the front of the room. Now, I think we had 26. I think there were 26 gym owners at that event, if I remember correctly. So and I'm saying that for the numbers, right? Mm-hmm. Understand how, within 26 people, there's only 26 people, you know? So being in that room, one of our buddies, Rob, jumped up to the front of the room, and he was in the position where the opportunity to purchase the building where his gym was in was presented to him. Now, the specifics of the situation were very unique, because one of the units had previously had a dry cleaner. And as part of the buy, he was going to be put on the hook for the responsibility of the environmental situation from the chemicals and the things that were used at the dry cleaner. Now, the opportunity came across to him like a massive advantage. He wanted to own the real estate, but that was kind of one of the unique situations in making that decision was, do I want to take over the responsibility without having any evidence on what the damage to the environment and everything had already been. So he was in charge of finding that out and then on the hook for any of the responsibility of correcting it. Now, in a normal situation, you get to the front of the room and you ask that question, everybody's kind of going to give their opinion, their belief, their type of thing. But no, in that room, 2 other gym owners had been in the exact same situation. And when I mean exact same, they were presented with the opportunity to buy real estate. And one of the things that they were on the hook with was a dry cleaner with environmental, responsibility. And they were both equally in the same exact position. They were going to be on the hook for the environmental aspect of it.
Yeah, the remediation.
There you go.
Yep.
Tim's been in those seats. Mm-hmm. Now, think about that, guys. You got 26 people in a room. You bring up something as specific as the environmental issues on buying the property because of the dry cleaner that was there previously. 2 other individuals out of 26 had been in that exact same seat, gave him feedback as to the decisions that they made, why, and it was no longer just an opinion, it became the fact.
Yep.
And Rob was able to make a better decision and decided to follow suit from what the other 2 went through. Both of them had kind of a little bit more legs. I think one of them got to some of the testing and found out like, hey, it was a big hook and a lot more expense than it seemed and things like that. So he had evidence to making a intelligent decision that helped him navigate away from purchasing that property when it would have actually cost him a hell of a lot more money in the long run than just all of the benefit of taking over that ownership. I can't think of a better way of getting a problem solution than somebody who's been in the exact same seat and gone through that prior. That's the whole reason that we create environment like this. We've put together not just new gym owners. That's a big deal too. These aren't people who just jumped in and have a couple weeks under their belt, a couple months under their belt being gym owners. These are tried and true gym owners that have life experience in situations this deep and this specific. That wouldn't happen in a room anywhere else. That wouldn't happen if you...
You're absolutely right. When you break it down with the numbers, it's like...
2 out of 26, like...
Really 2 others out of 25, because the 26th person is the one telling the story.
Asking the question, yeah.
I'm doing the stats, right? So, yes, to your point, there's life, there's business experience, there's 10, 12, 15 years in each one of these people. I think we calculated out of that 26 or so, there's like 400 and something years of just...
At that event we did, yeah. It was
it's well beyond that. I think it's into the thousands of years of gym ownership now. It's pretty wild when you start calculating it out. But yes, if Rob didn't have this group as a sounding board and have those 2 individuals, other gym owners who are still in the Iron Circle, tell their story, he may have made a $1 million loss decision, but he had the right people in the room. Now, let's just say if nobody had that experience, the 2 people didn't have the dry cleaner issue or anything, the questions that were also asked make more sense to like to Rob.
Mm-hmm.
He, like one of my questions is have you done soil testing?
Exactly.
Like, he did not. Like, of course, you got to start there. Like, even if nobody had the past dry cleaner issue, there's going to be steps that in logical, decisions that need to be made to make a better decision other than I get to buy my building because that, by the way, guys, I think real estate and buying your building as a gym owner is absolutely like should be top priority.
Amen.
I unfortunately it doesn't work for me here because of the owner's not selling. There's just if you guys knew my situation, you'd be like, it makes sense. You can't do it. There's nothing else here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you can, because if you do the math, boy, I tell you.
Oh, we know it.
Looking at that P&L for 15 years of rent payments, you own the building outright and you'd own all that equity. So, point is this, is having, surrounding yourself with like-minded, driven individuals that are on the same path that want to see you win. You're going to grow. You're going to make better decisions. You're going to see what others are doing, and you're going to grow just by the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. You're just going to they're just going to rub off on you. You hang around with a bunch of fat people, you're going to be fat. You hang around with a bunch of fit people, you're going to be fit. It's just part of
law
nature.
Of averages, yeah.
Part of nature, whatever that. There's got to be a law, like the XYZ law.
Universal laws. I'm sure it's one of them.
It is. And to the whole point of the Iron Circle, guys, like this didn't exist prior to us creating it. Yes, there's other masterminds out there, but this is different.
Mm-hmm.
And like when you say, hey, I've been in a mastermind, I get it, kind of, but it's not like what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Not to brag, like it is what it is. Like we believe in our product. I believe in our product. The Iron Circle is the best there is.
And there's a reason, and when we have a threshold to qualify, right? It's $30,000 a month in recurring revenue before you can enter the Iron Circle, and that's because the questions that we just discussed, like Rob's question, that's not a question for brand new gym owner who doesn't even own their
Dude, I've got
location.
I got some amazing stories. Just gonna brag on these guys a little bit, real quick. Just gonna brag on them.
Good. We're gonna celebrate their wins with you guys.
Yeah, let's do this. So, in the last 3 years, I've purchased. Okay, so Evans.
Yep.
Evans, one of our Iron Circle members, been a couple years now.
He'll be in town here tomorrow, right?
Next week.
Next week.
Yeah. Purchased a house cash, saved $250,000 in cash, opened a third gym, became an investor in my son's business, launched CNU Stretch, helping gym owners make recurring revenue, made over $1 million last year, on track to do it again. 2 kids being on salary, and net profit is, what is that? 186 on 64. I don't know, like 38 to 45% net profit on a business. So cool. That's one small story, right? And then here's another one. Over last year of Iron Circle, did almost 700,000 in revenue, over 40% net profit, while having 11 weeks on vacation and travel away from my business. I'm not coaching sessions anymore. I got the freedom from home, spending my afternoons and evenings with my family and training my son and bringing him to sports. Amazing. Like that's nothing better than that. I mean, honestly, another cool one, which was from a newer Iron Circle member. It's like, our story isn't impressive or flashy, but we've put systems in place that we've never had before. We have a collection of resources and colleagues that we would otherwise have. My own confidence as a leader is growing. I've always been in the background. I find myself taking more of a primary role in the business. I wanted you to know this is the most valuable experience I've ever invested in.
Look at that.
Fantastic, right? This one's insane. You want to hear this one?
Mm-hmm.
Since joining the Iron Circle, and this is a 15-year gym owner, it's been in other masterminds, I've maxed out my first location, opened a second, paid off $55,000 in debt, put $170,000 in infinite banking policy, and I started a family, moved into our dream house. We got 2 and almost a second on the way.
Look at that.
Pretty cool, guys. I mean, honestly, there's more to life than the gym. That's what the whole thing is like. What's next?
Yeah.
Like you're going to get to a point in your gym, you're either going to max out, you need to break through the glass ceiling, and there's ways that we do that, or it's scaling to another location or something else.
I'll give you one of the responses. Our buddy Daniel, I mean, when he was talking about the Iron Circle, he was saying that it gave him the authority to think bigger.
There you go.
And I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Because he was doing really well. He was at a point where he didn't think that there was more that he could be doing. He changed the environment. He was part of another mastermind, changed the room that he was in, and he's in an entirely different position.
Yep.
And it was even just changing the room and the people that you surrounded yourself with showed him that I've been playing small. He maxed out his potential based around the people that he would spend time with. This group and room opened his eyes that there's way more that he was capable of, and he's got that much more opportunity in front of him.
And he grew something like 40%. And one of the things is, I don't want to work harder, Tim. I want to actually work less. And he's not even in his gym anymore. That's freaking awesome. So, hey, listen, guys, I got to run, but that's really the point is you got to put yourself in the right rooms. We're giving you guys that opportunity at the Grow Summit. It's in Chicago, September 5th through 7th. If you're a gym owner, listen, this is resonating with you, and this is like, hey, I want to go big. I'm done playing small. It's your opportunity. I will tell you that what we do, the group in that audience is they're 7-figure guys, girls, multiple location. They're doing other things. It's great. The gym's always been the foundation, but it's not live or die by the gym. It's like, let's max out the gym. Let's make this thing a lifestyle for me, and let me do other stuff. And so if that resonates with you, I'd love to invite you out to the Grow Summit, growsummitchicago.com. Swiss Hotel. It's going to be amazing. Tim Grover, Thomas Plummer. Got Dan Wymera, John Briggs, Lindsay Vastola, Scott Carpenter, and John Farkas is going to be there. Coco Black, myself, Zach's teaching a workshop. So, guys, great event. You need to be there. It's our 6th annual. Just keep getting better. And hopefully, when you're there, you'll end up at the after party with us, because that's really where I go. All right, that's it for this episode, guys. Until next time, keep changing lives. See you on the next show. Bye. All right, thanks for listening to another episode of the Built to Grow podcast. If you want more help growing your business, join our free Facebook group, Profit Accelerator, helping training gyms grow to $30,000 a month and beyond. We'd love to see you there. Go check out the show notes for the link, and keep building something great, and we'll see you in the next episode.